Hello friends. So we are talking today about the nature in the green ember, and we are doing that by studying some birds of prey, the Cooper's hawk, the red-tailed hawk, and learning about rabbits, just in general in rabbit defense systems. And we have a page over here dedicated to talons and a beautiful sketch to kind of show you the musculature of the rabbits. This was labeled as a rabbit. To me, it looks more like a hare. They are the same family, different genus. So they both do, though, have those really strong back legs for jumping and for kicking. So this is my nature journal page. And we're gonna color this in a little bit as we talk about these guys. And so I just sketched my pictures out with my mechanical pencil, and I went over them with my micron in just sort of a sketchy fashion for most of it. The microns are waterproof ink. So I'm gonna take my number 6 round here, and I hope you guys can still see that, but I'm gonna take that, and the hawks actually have kind of an orangey yellow foot. So I'm gonna put some orange in here in this little foot. Now, hawks are raptors, all right? And raptors are birds of prey. And when we're reading about the green ember, we read a lot about Morven blackhawk, and we also read about some of the other birds of prey that kind of hang out with him. Now, birds actually have pretty sharp talons of their own, but I remember some super descriptive sentences about the birds of prey and their talons in the Black Star of Kingston. If you haven't read the side stories that go with the green ember, do that. It is so much fun. Oh my goodness, at least I haven't used my clean water yet. I totally dipped my brush into my cleaning water. That does happen sometimes, guys. The worst though is that sometimes I miss and I get my teacup. But in the green ember, our birds of prey sometimes even have additional armor and weaponry and blades attached to their already killer talons. And so you kind of feel bad for the rabbits, right? So really, let's talk here. What are talons? Do you guys know what talons are? They're actually made out of keratin, just like our fingernails. So these are like the fingernails for the birds. Our hair is made out of keratin. Since I already double dipped in this one, this is going to be my cleaning water. But they're made from keratin. Birds' feather shafts are also made from keratin. I'm going to take just a tiny bit of black here, and I'm going to probably go over these a couple times just to make sure that it's really nice and dark on the black here. But, ooh, phew, excuse me. We're down here in Georgia, and even though it's February, we've got quite a few things blooming, and my allergies are a mess. So anyway, when you're painting your little talons, if you want to kind of give them a shiny feel, you can leave little white spaces because you can't really go back and paint that in. I'm going to thicken that up a little at the end there. But you can add a little bit of white to show kind of the light on your talons there. All right, so they are made from keratin. They're like fingernails. All birds have talons. Generally, when we think of talons, a lot of times we only think of birds of prey. Every bird has talons. It's just their special fingernails. They can use them for climbing. They can use them for getting insects out. And our birds of prey use theirs specifically for catching and carrying and tearing. So they're pretty sharp, and they're actually sort of specialized for each bird depending on what kind of prey that bird normally has. For example, an osprey, which is a bird that lives near the water, they catch fish. They have super curved talons to help them catch a hold of the fish and carry them. All right, so we also have rabbits. We love our rabbits, don't we? Our rabbits with swords for the green ember. And just in general, bunnies are just cute, aren't they? I mean, like really and truly, they are cute. So here is my now cleaning water. And now that I have that off my brush, the bunny picture that we have here, if you are going to use this as your model, and I did a little, he has kind of like a brownish gray ear. And so I just take a teeny bit of brown here because I want to try and keep it pretty true to the picture. And so I'm going to make this kind of watery because I don't want it super dark. But we're just going to take the tip end of the brush and we're going to paint in those little ears just like they are in the picture. And I used my pen to kind of make the details here. And then because there's some shadow down here, even though he's a white bunny, we're going to put some shadow in there. Gracious. We're having a bit of a thunderstorm. But anyway, we're gonna color in some of the shadowy parts on our little bunny rabbit here. And I'm actually gonna put just a touch down, kind of coming towards each of his eyes. Rabbits' faces are not round. They're actually sort of elongated and stretched back because their eyes are on both sides. Rabbits actually have like super awesome vision. They can see on both sides and behind them because of the way their eyes are situated. And we have some fun facts here on your sheet. Now these are printables that you can get with the blog post, but we have some fun facts here. So the biggest rabbit on record, according to the Guinness World Records, was a Flemish giant, and it measured 4 feet and 3 inches long and 49 pounds. Guys, that's like the size of a toddler. That is a very large bunny rabbit. So we're gonna clean this off now. We're gonna get a little bit brown here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and mix it right there. And I'm just gonna paint around our little rabbit burrow here. Now, a burrow is actually one way that a rabbit defends itself. Did you know that? They defend themselves because their burrow is underground, and most of their predators cannot get to them that way, which is very handy for our little bunny rabbits. And so I'm gonna get just a touch more water here. I'll just bleed that out around the edges a little bit. I'm not gonna be super picky about this one. And I have not been super diligent lately in doing my nature journaling, guys. So I am beyond rusty here. But I'm gonna go ahead and clean this off. And we're gonna take just a touch of this black over here and mix it back up there. You know what, I need a little bit more brown. I am gonna clean my brush before I stick it on my brown so that my brown does not then become black. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna grab some more of this black. There we go. We just want it to be a little bit darker to come in back here and kind of go behind our bunny. But bunnies use a scream. Now, if you guys have ever seen or caught, and I don't really advise doing this, we had to do it once because our dog got a hold of a bunny rabbit. And the bunny rabbit was fine. Our doggy is super, super sweet and very well trained. And I don't even think he was really trying to hurt the rabbit. He was trying to play with the rabbit, but it was a baby bunny. And rabbits are typically very quiet, but when they scream, it is, wow, it is scary. I mean, it's just this crazy shriek. And this poor little baby bunny was so scared. And as soon as we told our puppy, you know, drop it, he did, and the rabbit scampered off and it was fine. But I had never before that really, I think, heard a rabbit scream, but they do, and they can do that to startle their predators. They also have this thing. Now, when we read the Green Ember, we read about Picket fainting during the thunderstorm. Rabbits don't really faint, but they do have what is called tonic immobility. So you can actually use that if you ever handle a rabbit. You can hold it on its back and it basically immobilizes the rabbit, but they can do that also as a defense mechanism, and it's basically like they're playing dead. Plus it gives them a clear shot if they do need to use their feet to kick something away from them. So that's just kind of a fun thing to do about, or to know about the bunnies. Now, hawks are very interesting birds. I don't know what kind of hawks you have where you live. Most of our readership does tend to be from North America. And so we have, all across North America, we have the Cooper's hawks, and we have the red-tailed hawks. Oh, there was some more lightning. There it goes. So these are what we have here. We have a lot of these, and what I drew here is the Cooper's hawk. And the Cooper's hawks are pretty decent sized. The males can be 14 to 15 inches long, and the females can actually be 16 to 17. Most birds of prey, the females are actually larger. Now, if you're dealing with red-tailed hawks, something kind of neat about them is during mating season, they actually will sometimes catch prey, and the male will toss it to the female while he's flying. I'm really glad that I've never seen that in action, but we do have some beautiful red-tailed hawks around where we live in Georgia, and there's also a falcon that hangs around where my husband's office is, which is kind of neat. And it's easy to confuse the two, but usually the falcons are a little bit smaller. The red-tailed hawk is actually one of the largest birds in North America. They're pretty good size. So when you see them, if you've ever seen a hawk or a falcon or an eagle or an osprey with their prey, we're gonna lighten this brown up just a little, add a lot of water to it. It's really neat because you can tell there's like a super, super heavy grasp on their prey. And the talons themselves are quite strong, but the feet are very strong too. And that's because when the birds catch it, the talons, kind of like fingernails, they really kind of dig into whatever it is to hold on to it, and then the feet sort of squeeze it and constrict it. So their actual feet are very strong, in addition to their talons also being strong. I never realized how hard it was to talk and paint at the same time. But we're just gonna keep filling in. And you'll notice here too, the Cooper's hawk in your picture, they do actually have kind of like an iridescent look around their beak, which is, I think, really pretty. I guess as long as you're not their prey, you can appreciate what they look like, right? And then when you fill in an eye, even in your nature journals, like down here on our bunny, their eyes were like kind of too small to do that. But when you fill in an eye, try to leave a teeny tiny little bit of white. And that's called a life spark. And what that does is once it dries, it looks more realistic. Most animals don't have solid black eyes. I guess that's the other thing too though. A lot of times when you see the white rabbits, they'll have red eyes, which is so creepy, but it's neat. So I'm now gonna take a little bit of blue and mix it here with a little bit of that green. And we're gonna get some water so that it's not super dark. And we're just gonna paint in. Oop, it kind of bled in there. That's all right. It's a journal page. And then we're gonna bring a little bit of this too around their eyes right there, because there's some of that coloring that kind of bleeds on over there. So we'll give that a minute to dry. I'll add in the yellow. But that is our nature study to go with the green ember, and you can really dive deep into all the different birds and things as you do this, and just keep up with your little nature journal pages so that you can go back and look over it as the final book comes out, or as you're working your way through the series and learning more about rabbits and how they live and how their burrows combine to make their warrens, and all the wonderful things that you can learn about nature through your fantastic books. So we hope that you've enjoyed this and that you guys have a great time doing your nature journals. Share it with us online with the hashtag THG Morning Time. We would love to see all of your lovely nature studies. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.